Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Mesa Public Schools Virtual College Fair. We are so excited to have you participating in this event tonight and have some really fantastic schools here with us. My name is Karis, and I will be serving as your facilitator. Before we get started, I have just a few housekeeping items. The first one you've probably already noticed, your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. You can, however, use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. This is just one of the many different sessions happening tonight, so be sure that you keep checking out that website and the schedule. Finally, this presentation is being recorded and will be available at strivescan.com/Greater Arizona. That wraps up all of my announcements, and so I would like to go ahead and turn it over to our first presenter and institution, which is Washington College.
All right, hello everyone. Welcome as I share my screen really quick. So, Washington College is a small private liberal arts college in Chestertown, Maryland. So this is over on the eastern shore of the Chesapeake Bay watershed. It is a small town in a pretty rural area, but we have pretty close access to some major cities. So we're about an hour and a half to 2 hours from anywhere in DC, Baltimore, and Philly. So because of that, students end up going to those places for fun with friends, the kind of things you do in the city. They also go to them for internships. We have a number of partnerships with places in those cities, such as the Smithsonian, Library of Congress, and the National Aquarium. So some facts about campus. We have 3 campuses, actually. The main one, which is what you're seeing here, is what you're going to think of when you think of a typical college campus. All the academic buildings and dorms are mostly here. We also have, for people who are interested in especially environmental science, the River and Field campus and Waterfront campus are also fantastic. So the River and Field campus is about 5,000 acres of undisturbed natural land, all kinds of different ecosystems out here, forests, river, a lake, meadows, farmland, all kinds of different research facilities and places for students to do internships. There's a bird banding station. The Waterfront campus also has our state-of-the-art research facility for environmental science, several different labs, including an environmental innovation lab. The Waterfront campus also has the Hudson Boathouse. So students who pass the swim test can all take out boats onto the river. So we are on the Chester River, which is a tributary to the Chesapeake Bay. It's about a 5-minute drive, maybe a 10 to 15-minute walk from campus. So students are able to go out there and access that pretty easily. We are about 1,100 students from 11 different countries. 3% are international students, and about a quarter identify as students of color. So because of our small size, we have a 9-to-1 student to faculty ratio and an average class size of 12. So you're never going to get lost in a class. You're always going to know your professors. And as you can see at the bottom, 99% of those faculty have the terminal degree in their field. So you're always being taught by somebody who you know knows what they're talking about. There are no teaching assistants teaching classes. We don't have a graduate school. So any opportunities are here for you. We have 80+ student-run clubs and organizations. So that could be Greek life, fraternities and sororities. We have 19 Division III athletics. We have environmental exploration club. We have clubs for different majors and things like that. Hopefully within all this, everyone's going to find something for them. We have 68% of students conducting an internship. Many of those students will do multiple. We have the Center for Career Development helps get people into those internships, which turn into jobs. Leading to this next fact here, 90% of students of the class of 2019 were either employed or continuing their education within 9 months of graduation. So we're really big on helping people land on their feet. And there's a pretty big system in place for that. These are all of our majors, minors, concentrations, areas of study. There are about 60 of them. So hopefully within all this, everyone's gonna find something they're interested in. We are a liberal arts school. So you're never gonna take classes just within your major. You also take what we call distribution classes because there's all sorts of overlap in life anyway. So we're trying to be very interdisciplinary, and within all that, sometimes people find once they take a distribution class, maybe they add a major or a minor for that kind of thing too. We have something called the Washington College Standard. This is 5 pillars that are underlying everyone's education. Everyone will experience these in some way. The first one is the written word. So it's a great place to be for people who want to be writers. We have something called the Lit House, where we invite many authors to speak. We've had Toni Morrison, Lemony Snicket, Edward Albee, a lot of famous people. But anyone who doesn't want to be a writer will still graduate with proficiency in writing after going through a writing program. You'll take at least one writing intensive class a year, leading up to the senior capstone experience, which is going to be an example of heavy writing in your major, essentially a graduate level thesis in an undergraduate environment. Speaking of environmental action is a big thing for us too. So like I said, being on the Chesapeake Bay, environmental science is one of our biggest majors, but even for people who are not interested in studying that, It's going to be something that people are going to experience. It's a big part of our culture. So we use 100% green energy. People might take a class in this for distribution. History informing the future is a big thing for us too. We are the oldest college in Maryland. We are the first college chartered after the Declaration of Independence, and we are the 10th oldest in the country. So a lot of history here. We are also partly funded by George Washington, who gave 50 guineas. I'm not sure how much money that is, but he gave money to help fund us. He sat in our first board of visitors and governors, and he gave us his name. So you're going to see this all over everything. Learning without limits is also a big thing for us. So like I said, getting people into those internships, turn into jobs. We have all kinds of partnerships. We have study abroad. We have field work. We're trying to get people out of the classroom and really applying what they're learning. And then meaningful connections is a big thing too. So like I said, you're going to get to know the people you're with really well because it's a small school. Average class size is really small. You'll have the same professors multiple times. You'll work with your cohort and your major many times throughout the many years that you're here. So some of our application deadlines, you see the top date is your deadline to get it in. The bottom date is our deadline to get your notification back to you. And once you get your notification, you'll have your financial aid package as well, which is really nice. Even if you were to turn in, if you say you were turning your early action application today, you would probably still get it back within a month. So notifications are rolling. We also use the common application. We are test optional. We have been for a number of years, and we have no fee to apply. So we want to make it pretty easy for people to do. All that you need to apply is send in an application form, a transcript, a council recommendation, and then either test scores or a test optional form. Beyond that, we have several scholarships for people who apply. When you're applying to the college, you're applying to merit-based aid, so anyone can get up to $35,000 a year for that. You're also going to be, when we look at your application, we will consider you for whether you should apply for some other, we call them honors fellowships. They offer programming and some scholarship dollars. So those are mostly interest-based things that you maybe within your major. There's also a program called Washington Scholars, which offers 10 full ride scholarships essentially to 10 high achievement, high need students every year. And thank you so much for your time. I will put in my contact information in the chat.
Thank you so much. We will keep things going with our next institution, which is the University of Rhode Island.
Hi, everyone. My name is Joanne Lynch, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Admission at the University of Rhode Island. And I am also the admission counselor for students from Arizona who are interested in our school. So if you look at our website, you'll find me listed as your admission counselor, and I'm happy to speak with you, Zoom with you, or email with you about your University of Rhode Island questions. We are the public flagship research university of the state of Rhode Island, located in a rural area about 15 minutes from some very beautiful beaches. Some of the recognitions we've received include number 3 on the best value schools list of the 30 most beautiful coastal college campuses in the nation, as well as being a Peace Corps top volunteer producing college and a Princeton Review College with a conscience designee. We're driving distance easily to Providence, about 30 miles to Providence, 20 minutes to Newport, about 2.5 hours to Boston, and about, an hour and a half to Boston and 2.5 hours to New York City. We're considered medium-sized with an undergraduate population of about 14,500 students. 52% of our students are from Rhode Island. The others come from 48 different states and 68 different nations. 23% of our incoming first-year students identify as students of color, and 76% of our classes have fewer than 29 students. We offer 90 different majors, as well as 90 different minors that you can pair with those, and they're located within our 8 degree granting colleges, which include the College of Arts and Sciences, Health Sciences, Nursing, Pharmacy, Education, Business, Engineering, and the College of the Environment and Life Sciences. In addition to traditional classroom learning, we do believe in experiential learning. So you'll find that some majors require clinical work or laboratory work. We offer internships to students throughout the country. So if you wanted to go home to Arizona to do an internship, we'll work with you to explore that option and develop that for you. You can work side by side with faculty mentors on research project in their labs, working on exciting things related to our experts on sharks, on explosives, on tick-borne illnesses. And we have a nursing faculty who's working on a research project related to asthma on the Navajo reservation, so close to home for you. We offer study abroad in over 75 countries and also are part of National Student Exchange. 90% of our graduates report they're employed or enrolled in graduate school within 6 months of graduation. Although it's not required that you live on campus, many of our students do. We have 24 undergraduate residence halls, and we have residence halls, suites, and apartment style living for our upper class students. First year students in many majors have the chance to live with other students in their same major. We refer to that as living and learning communities. A really easy way to make friends because you have the academic interest area and you can help each other with homework because you're all in the same classes. So it's a really easy way to form connections right away when you come to campus. Many of our upper level students also choose to rent rental houses down near the beach when they are upper level students. Getting involved is simply easy to do because we have over 300 student clubs and organizations, in addition to our Division I intramural and club sports. Everything from Greek life, student senate, leadership, service programs, and volunteering. So you can get involved in new things or participate in the things that you're already doing in high school, such as music, theater, art, writing for the school newspaper, best buddies, whatever it might be. Really easy to get involved, and we encourage students to get involved early. We're a member of Common Applications, so you would submit your common application with the application fee, have your school counselor submit your official high school transcript, including your senior classes, and we need at least one letter of recommendation in order to complete your file. For the years 2021 and the application year 2022, for those of you who are seniors, we are test optional, so it's up to you whether you wish to submit your SAT or ACT scores. Our first year early action deadline is December 1st. You'll have notification of your decision by the end of January, and we'll have until May 1st to let us know whether you'll be attending or not. And our regular deadline is February 1st. Merit scholarships are available without submitting an additional merit scholarship application. All students will be considered for merit when we review you for admission, and the eligibility is based upon your academic performance in high school, including your GPA, your grade in every course, and the rigor of the courses that you're taking. In addition, we review your letters of recommendation and look for evidence of involvement in leadership in your school and community as part of the merit scholarship process. Financial aid is available by filing the FAFSA, the free application for federal student aid. And something is messed up on my screen right now, but so my columns don't look right. But if you look at the tuition and fees structure for out-of-state students, together with tuition and fees, room and board, you're looking at about $46,600 per year, minus any merit scholarships and of course, financial aid. We hope you'll be able to take a chance to visit us, but if you don't have the opportunity to do that in person yet, we are offering virtual campus tours, individual counselor meetings, and that would be with me, on-demand information sessions, virtual academic information sessions, and the opportunity to chat with students. So you see the website listed there. That takes you directly to our visit page with the calendar and registration information. And when you get further along in the college search process, hopefully you'll be able to come and visit us soon. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Our next institution tonight will be Bates College.
I'm gonna go ahead and just share my screen. Get started. Hey, good evening, everyone. My name is Diana DeJesus. I am a Senior Assistant Dean of Admission here at Bates. And we are located in Lewiston, Maine. That's a photo of it, and that is our backdrop. Our mission here since 1855 is to emphasize an inclusive environment. Bates has welcomed men and women from diverse racial, ethnic, and economic backgrounds since 1855. We have been recognized for our true equal opportunity in education, and we are the first in New England to be co-educational. We continue to strive for equality and accessibility, and that's demonstrated in our work on campus. We do not have fraternity, sorority life. We have one dining hall, a singular hall called the Common. We believe in connecting more than just eating food is with your colleagues, your professors, and testing is optional when it comes to applying. We have over 30 majors, 20 minors, but here at Bates, it is very individualized experience. We believe in educating the whole person. So if you were to come to Bates and I say, you're not have an idea of what you want to study, you have up until the end of your sophomore year to declare your major. We believe in interdisciplinary education and having you be introduced to topics that you might not necessarily be into if you are in a specific track. One key part of the Bates experience is a senior thesis. This is an opportunity to synthesize your academic work in either an original research or creative production. This is through the advisement of a faculty advisor. It's incredibly flexible. And again, this is an original piece of work that will follow you after you graduate. One of the few institutions that have a senior thesis as part of your graduation requirement. Bates is also recognized nationally for our community engaged learning model. We have established a Harwood Center for Community Partnerships. This speaks to our relationship with Lewiston. We are a very porous and open community. And the community partnerships is where we connect the civic and community across the curriculum. So there are classes that include that in their curriculum and coordinate community service. As you see on the right, we have a representation of the type of engagement our student has. 50% each year are engaged in community engaged learning. We have 90 different type of community engaged projects, independent study, and volunteerism. And in 1 year, our students dedicate over 42,000 hours of academic community engaged hours in the community. Academic calendar, we have 4 courses in this fall, 4 in the spring, and we have what we call a short term. That is your opportunity to be taking an academic risk with your classes, and you can do up to 3, but we require 2. And as you see, these are students in the Lake Andrew on campus, and this is they're being taught by a practitioner. Again, it could be off campus, study abroad, or more laxed. We also recognize for our Center for Purposeful Work, we do not believe in having you be aligned to an area that doesn't speak to you. We want to align with who you are, what you do, and that is a very holistic approach. And throughout your 4 years, you recognize you're going to be exploring different areas and you're going to evolve as an individual. So through the purposeful work, we have job shadowing, we have 90 plus paid internships. We have just different ways for you to gain insight into your ideal career path. Our 2020 outcome, in light of COVID, we still have students who have settled. About 92% of our graduates have settled within 6 months in 37 states and internationally. Those who applied to medical school, 81% were admitted, 100% were admitted to law school, and Bates is recognized for a top producer of Fulbright fellows. And last year we had 24. Quickly about admissions, we welcomed the largest class of over 550 students. We have 54 female identified, 46% male identified. We have increased our representation of diversity in the incoming class to 27%. 12% are identified as first generation. We have 3 windows of time to apply to Bates. Early decision 1 is November 15th. Decision 2 is January 15th, and regular decision is also January 15th. Financial aid here at Bates is need-based, and we strive to meet 100% of your need. It's not based off merit. We awarded last year over $38 million in grants. Your aid does follow you through study abroad, so that you don't have to reapply for additional tuition to cover your study abroad opportunities, which we have about 200 to pair you with based off your interest. The package is average about $47,000 per year. And again, it strives to meet 100% of your need. And we are testing optional. We've been testing optional since the 1980s. We've been in the leading charge in that conversation. So you as an applicant can choose if you're going to submit your test scores. We have a holistic review of your application from your personal essay. We do accept Coalition app and the Common app. And then we just encourage you to ask questions, to reach out to myself. I am your regional admissions counselor. So we really want you to seek the answers that you need to make a decision that best fits you and here at Bates. And thank you for your time. I'll put my contact information in the chat.
As a reminder, if you all have any questions, I would encourage you to put those into the Q&A and our panelists will get to them as they can, but we will keep things going with our next institution, which will be Millersville University.
Hi, everybody. My name is Josh, and I'm Assistant Director of Admissions at Millersville University. All right, there we go. We got our presentation up. So to kick things off, here is my contact information. I'll also put that in the chat before we say goodbye here today, but you can see my long COVID hair in that picture there. But Millersville University is probably the coolest university that you've never heard of, okay? So we're located not far from Hershey Park, if you've ever been to Hershey before, but believe it or not, our president is actually a king from Ghana, Africa. So not many universities can say that their president is also a king, but that's exactly who we have at Millersville with our president, Dr. Wuba. Dr. Wuba is extremely intelligent and very compassionate. We're very fortunate to have him. But his wife makes a wicked peanut soup if anyone's into African cuisine. Now, some quick information about Millersville. We're a state university. In fact, we're the first state-owned university in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. We're almost 200 years old, and we're a medium-sized state school with about 8,000 students total. We're not too big, and we're not too small. On average, our class size is about 26 students per class, and we've got over 100 different programs to pick from. So whether you know exactly what you want to study when you go to college, or if you're not entirely sure, chances are pretty good that we're going to have something just right for you at Millersville, whether it's pre-med, artificial intelligence, plant sciences, music industry, entertainment technology. We have a lot to pick from. Here's a quick snapshot of where we're located. So we're very, very close to Philadelphia, and we're just a stone's throw from our state's capital, Harrisburg. But we have students who come not just from Pennsylvania, but like the other schools, from all around the world. We hope that you'll be able to come visit us sometime. Great way to get to us would be to fly either into Baltimore or Philadelphia. And if you fly into Philly, you can actually take the train right to Lancaster. We have our own Amtrak station, which is also very convenient. Now, as I said before, we have over 100 different programs to pick from. For programs like English, psychology, biology, we have our own buildings for all of these different programs. We also have some programs that are hard to find. Programs like meteorology, so that's a pretty cool one. But yeah, we've got a lot of different programs to pick from. And our academics are top-notch. They should be. That's why we want you to come to us. But we have a lot to do outside of the classroom as well. We have fraternities and sororities. We have religious organizations, a television station, a football team, a marching band. Our swimming pool on campus even has a sound system in it, so you can hear music when you're underwater. So whether you're the kid who wants to go to college to make friends from all around the world, or maybe you're the gamer that has the headphones on until 3 a.m. blowing up zombies, there's going to be people like you on our campus. So at a place like Millersville, you never have to worry about being alone. Our students go on to do some pretty awesome things once they graduate. Here are some of our recent grads, and Kristen Hart was actually one of my students. She's actually working for Walt Disney World right now. So whether you want to go back to Arizona after you graduate, or if you want to stay on the East Coast and start your life there, we've got a lot of different things like internships and co-ops to help you find your way. Now, if you're like me and you like to sleep, the place where our students sleep are our brand new suite style residence halls. And if you saw them, you would like them. They're like nice apartments without kitchens. They have air conditioning, Wi-Fi, cable, and parking for freshmen. So if you did have a car and you wanted to drive it all the way to Pennsylvania, you would be welcome to keep it on campus. Also, if you're like me and you like to eat, our food is really good. So we've got great places to stay, good food, not a lot more you could really want. In terms of costs for our students from Arizona, if you apply to Millersville and you're admitted, what we'll do is we'll take $6,000 a year for 4 years off of your bill. That will bring your yearly cost for everything, your housing, your food, your classes, down to just under $30,000 a year. And if you are interested in applying, you can apply to us over the Common App. There's no application fee, no promo code needed. We do accept AP scores of 3 or higher, and in most cases, most dual enrollment scores transfer in as well. On average, our students have a 3.5 GPA on a 4.0 scale, and applying with SAT scores is optional. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. All right, and we will close things out with our final institution of the night, which is the University of Pittsburgh.
Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon in Arizona. My name is Guillermo Viles, and I'm an Enrollment Services Manager with the University of Pittsburgh, or an admissions counselor, and I'm here to talk to you about everything Pitt. So I'm going to start off with real basic information and just tell you guys who we are. So the University of Pittsburgh was established in 1787. It started out as a pretty small cabin, but we now house over 6 different freshman entry-level schools. We have master level programs as well as PhD programs. So if you want to continue your education here, you can do so. We're a mid to large size school, and we have about 19,000 undergraduate students. 4,500 of them are freshmen. So that's more or less the class that you're looking at. Pittsburgh, the city of Pittsburgh, we are located in the city of Pittsburgh, which is right behind me. Pittsburgh has been named the number 2 most livable city in the US, and the University of Pittsburgh is constantly ranked the #1 public institution in the Northeast. So if you want to move over here, this is definitely a great place for you to continue your education. Additionally, we also have a Pride Index rating of 5 out of 5. So we're also a very welcoming campus. And so you see some of the pictures here on the right-hand side. That's the Cathedral of Learning. And then you also see Dr. Jonas Salk. He discovered the polio vaccine, and he was also a Pitt alumni. So tons of different experiences for you to encounter. Next up, I want to talk about the 6 different freshman entry-level schools. So these are the things that we offer. We have over 100 different majors, minors, and certificate programs, starting with the School of Arts and Sciences, over 90 different majors and minors and certificates. The College of Business Administration has 7 different majors. The Swanson School of Engineering has 10 different majors. They also offer minors and certificate programs. The School of Computing and Information, they offer 3 different majors: computer science, information science, and an option to do a dual degree program with arts and sciences. Our School of Nursing is top 10 in the nation for undergraduate and graduate studies. So students that attend and complete their studies at our School of Nursing, they're graduating with a BSN. And if they wish to continue to do their master's, they can do so. And last but not least, our newest freshman entry-level school, which is the School of Public Health. Actually, our School of Computing Information and the School of Public Health are some of the oldest programs in the nation. We only used to offer them for graduate students, and we now offer them for freshman students as well. At Pitt, we also offer Pitt Honors. So it's a +1 program for us. And students that usually get Pitt Honors or are part of the honors program, they get access to Pitt Honors housing, so living with other students that are also part of the Honors College. They get access to Pitt Honors scholarships on top of their regular access to scholarships, Pitt Honors academic advising on top of the regular academic advising, and access to Pitt Honors research. Additionally, you also get access to the Bachelor's in Philosophy, which is the #1 philosophy degree in the world. Here at Pitt, that's something that's also very unique to us, is that we offer guaranteed admissions programs. As that means that if you meet the necessary prerequisites for any of these guarantees, you're guaranteed a seat in the graduate level program. They all have very different prerequisites. I would go online to that website at the bottom of the screen and look at all the prerequisites for all of the guarantees. These are non-binding, so if for whatever reason you decide to not continue with that program, it kind of just goes away. And these are only offered to you as an entering freshman. So if you don't receive it as an entering freshman, then you'll just have to apply to graduate school. Here at Pitt, we also value outside of the classroom experiences, right? Academics are important, but outside of the classroom experiences are important as well. So a couple of things that we offer, for example, if you want to do research, We are an R1 institution, so we get public funding to conduct research. We can publish and we can present on that. You can start to get involved in research as soon as your freshman year, and you can start your own personal research as soon as the end of your sophomore year. We also offer the internship prep program through our career services department, where they guarantee an internship at the end of that program, where if you complete 4 to 6 workshops with them. We also offer something that outside of the classroom curriculum. So it's really a great way to get to know the city, network within the city, excuse me, and just get that Pittsburgh experience. Some other activities that you can do outside of the classroom. We are a Division I school, so all the sports that you see there, those are all Division I. So you can apply for athletics if you want to play for us. You can be a walk-on on the team if you like, or you can just take the class if you like too. We also have over 600 student-led organizations, so there's bound to be something for you if you are interested. In something I just recently learned, we have a club that's called the Bryan Club. So it's for anyone whose name is Brian, right? But there's pretty much anything. And if there's not something that you find that you're interested in, all you need is 5 students and a sponsor to start your own club or organization. Because we're in the city of Pittsburgh, we get tons of city amenities. We have tons of different things to do and see, tons of green spaces. We have a 300-acre park right across the street. And, we have the cultural district where if you like Broadway shows, there's tons of Broadway shows that come through here. We have fields and stadiums where big artists also come through here as well. And if you love food always like I do, there's tons of different restaurants. Actually, Pittsburgh is starting to become a foodie city. So this is definitely the right place for you. Some important things to talk about here, which are scholarships. So as long as you apply before December 1st and your application is marked as complete, you will be automatically reviewed for merit-based scholarships. We give anything from $2,000 to full tuition, room and board. That means you can fall anywhere in between that, but just make sure you apply before December 1st. If for whatever reason you don't get a merit-based scholarship, we also offer something called Pitt Funds Me, which is a database of scholarships where you can just create a profile, and at the end of that profile, you answer about 83 questions. It tells you exactly for which scholarships you qualify for, and then you can just directly apply to those. These are just some really important deadlines to keep in mind and to remember. The most important one, I would say, is December 1st to be automatically reviewed for those merit-based scholarships. And we are a rolling admission school. So that means that we don't have early action, we don't have early decision. So you can apply really whenever our application opens up, and you have all the way through May 1st to decide whether or not you will commit to Pitt. Some other really important deadlines here to remember is that if you want to be reviewed for any of our guarantees, the only ones that have deadlines are the medical school guarantee, where you don't have to take the MCAT, and that one gets you straight into our med school. That's the most competitive guarantee. We usually have 2,000 students that has to be reviewed for that. We only give it to about 10 of them. But like I said, all guarantees are very different. But that's one of the guarantees that has a deadline, because that one requires an extra application, and that one also requires an interview. As you can see, we also have the physician assistant guarantee deadline. Like I said, those are the most complicated ones. All the other ones are on a rolling basis, so we will just let you know as soon as we have your decision. And like I said, May 1st, that's the deadline to commit to Pitt. So you have a lot of time to think about that. I also really briefly wanted to talk about our residence halls. We have over 10 different residence halls for our entering freshmen, and they are all sorts of different sizes. We have singles, doubles, triples, suite style living. And as an entering freshman, you also get guaranteed housing for 3 years. It's optional to live on campus, so you don't have to do that if you don't want to. We also have living and learning communities where you can live with other students who have the same interests that you have. For example, you can live in a music living learning community, you can live in a art living learning community, you can live in the global village with other students from all over the world. So there's tons of different options for you as an entering freshman. And last but not least, I just wanted to give you guys my information. I'm sorry for that picture, but yes, I am your territory representative, and I will happily help you with any questions that you might have. At the bottom of the screen, you can see my email address as well as my phone number and the website where you can go and take a look at all of the information that I just talked about. So hopefully, I got to tell you a little bit more about the University of Pittsburgh and everything that we have to offer. So thank you so much.
Well, as a reminder, we still have a little bit more time with each other. And so if you have any questions, I would encourage you to go ahead and type those into the Q&A feature so that our panelists can get to them as soon as possible. But without further ado, we will go ahead and get started with our panel with answers from all of the panelists you just got to hear from tonight. So I will invite them to go ahead and turn their cameras back on and get us started off with our first question of the night, which is, what advice would you give someone going through the college search process?
So my best advice for this, and I know that it's difficult, especially to visit schools over here when you're so far away, but I always recommend visiting a school if possible, visiting the top schools that you're thinking of, because I think that when you visit a school, you sort of get a different idea of it than seeing it through pictures or even videos. So this is sort of how I made my decision for what school to go to. We do offer travel assistance as well. So if you can reimburse half of your flight up to $150, and then if you decide to enroll, we will reimburse the other half up to $150 as well.
I would say one piece of advice would be to reach out to your territory managers, which would be us, I guess, but that's a great way to build relationships. And it's also a great way for us to kind of like vouch for you, right? For whatever reason, at least, at the university, if you can contact me and demonstrate that interest, maybe I can look into a scholarship for you or something like that. So I think just really establish those relationships with those territory managers is pretty impactful.
My advice is to stay organized and really pay close attention to deadlines. And that includes the deadlines that your school counselors have asked you to adhere to about how much lead time they need to prepare application materials and recommendations to send to your colleges. But all of us have given you lists of deadlines, and a day does matter. So pay close attention to what the application deadline is, whether it's a submitted by deadline, whether it's a postmark deadline for those people who still use snail mail. But they're very, very important, and they can make a disappointing difference, unfortunately.
So my word of advice is twofold. First, it would be to identify what you are seeking in a college, right? It is a mutually beneficial relationship. So, we have incredible brochures and websites, but do you want to be in a rural setting? Do you want to be in an urban setting? Do you want to have a specific track? Do you want to be more in a liberal arts environment? That will help you identify even more what type of college you're seeking and type of environment you're seeking to thrive in. Ultimately, you can be there for 4 years. And then second would be, yes, to understand that this is a process. It is a search. So being organized, recognizing what the pros and cons of each institution is, what your financial situation is. You want it to be a very active and engaged experience about when it comes to searching for your college.
And I'll agree with what everyone else has said so far, especially my colleague at Washington College. Visit our campuses if you can, and check in with each school to see if they offer any type of travel subsidies to get to those schools. But yeah, come and visit us. We'd love to have you.
All right, and my final question of the night, which is one of my favorites. What is one thing that you want students to remember about your school?
So something to remember about Washington College, even though we have a lot of different internship and research opportunities at Washington College, being so close to 3 major cities really triples your, and I'm going to say even quadruples, because we have a lot of things involved with Annapolis and the state legislature. It is the state capital of Maryland. So we really triple your opportunities by having these different partnerships, and we're a pretty old college, so we've had time to build those partnerships, those relationships with institutions in those cities and around the world.
I'd say for the University of Pittsburgh, just the myriad of opportunities that students can have because we are located in the city. And some of our students, doing internships with the Pittsburgh Penguins or at the United Nations headquarters in New York City or anywhere in some of the Fortune 500 companies that are in the city. There's just tons of opportunities. And I think that's just very true for any college, really. Like there's going to be so many opportunities, but for students, they have to take advantage of those things, right? So I just say, remember the University of Pittsburgh, research, if you like that type of stuff, research, being in a city, having that, city life, but that small town feeling, you can definitely find that here because there's tons of different options for you to grow and develop and to customize your education to what you are interested in.
At the University of Rhode Island, we want you to think big. We want to know what your big idea is, and we will help you to accomplish your dreams.
Bates College, we are in Maine. We have all 4 seasons. We are a college in a small field city, Lewiston, a rich mill town that evolved into the city that it is. And the students are community-based, not only on campus, but also off campus. We can have an immediate and significant impact on the community at large. And it's a tight-knit community with an emphasis and collaborative spirit.
And Millersville University in Pennsylvania is an old school. We have a lot of really cool old traditions. Back in the day, it used to be so strict on our campus that guys and girls weren't allowed to talk to each other unless they were brother and sister. So if a guy liked a girl, as he was walking by, he would snap at her. And if she snapped back, that was the signal to meet up after the dinner bell. So our students still snap at Millersville, and we've got a lot of really cool old traditions like that on our campus. So if you're looking for a place that has that collegiate feel, that has those traditions, make sure you keep us in mind.
Well, thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. When you close this window, there will be a link to a quick 5-question survey. And so we would appreciate any feedback you could provide us on your experience tonight. I would also encourage you to check back on the schedule and sign up for more sessions because we have a ton more happening tonight. And then finally, you'll be able to find this session's recording as well as all of the other recordings at strivescan.com/Greater Arizona. That wraps us up for tonight. Thank you all so much for attending and enjoy your evening.
Thank you. Have a